Hello, my dear students. This is Sanjay sir from Mathswell YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about one of the very important topic from mathematics, that is of the applications of trigonometry. In the last videos we have seen a chapter of trigonometry. So today we are going to discuss about the applications of trigonometry. Okay, let us see. The name of topic is applications of trigonometry. So before going to see what are the applications, how to use the trigonometry in our day-to-day life, how it can be used. So before going to discuss that, I will just brush up what you have seen in the last class, that is in trigonometry. So in trigonometry we have seen the various trigonometric ratios. We have also seen the values of trigonometric ratios for different angles for 30, 45, 60, 90 and so on. Along with that we have solved various examples on it. Okay, we'll just brush up, and also we have seen the identities, the very important identities from the trigonometric ratios. In those identities basically we have the first three identities. They are sin square theta plus cos square theta equal to 1. Second one we have seen 1 plus tan square theta equal to sec square theta. And thirdly, the formula number 3, identity number 3, we have seen it was 1 plus cot square theta equal to cosec square theta, right? So using these identities from the trigonometric functions, we have solved many examples. So this is the basic part of the trigonometry that we have seen in the previous standards. So today we are going to see the the applications of these trigonometric ratios. The trigonometric ratios are sin theta, cos theta, tan theta, then their reciprocals cosec theta, sec theta and cot theta respectively. Okay. So what are the applications? How to use these trigonometric ratios to find to use in our day-to-day life? So the main basic things in which this trigonometry can be used is a height and distance. The very important application of trigonometry is to find the height and distances of some objects. Okay, how they can be obtained, how this trigonometry will be used to find the height and distances of the objects, we'll see one by one. So before going to find these heights and distances of some objects in our day-to-day life, we'll come across some definitions. What are those definitions? For that we must know these two terms. These two are very important terms in this applications of trigonometry. The first one is called the angle of elevation, and the second one is a angle of depression. Angle of depression. So angle of elevation and angle of elevation and the angle of depressions. So these words you might have studied. What is elevation and what is depression? So elevation means it is just we can say it is observing an object in above direction, means it is just it is in the level, upward level, that we can say in short. That is to see that object we need to see upward. That is called the angle of elevation. How it will be obtained, we will discuss it in detail. And the angle of depression will be, for that one we need to see the downward, right? So that type, those are the angles known as the angle of elevation and angles of depression. So how they are exactly, just I will show you, and what are the related terms to that, that also we can see. Okay, let us see. What do you mean by angle of elevation and angle of depression? So here we can see the angle of elevation. What is angle of elevation? Here we see the angle of elevation. Here if you observe, suppose this one is a tower. Here we can say a Qutub Minar, we can say, or any tower, a very high tower, right? So this is a high, some tower of some height. Okay, so in this case an observer is at the point A. Okay, it is at the point A, the observer is at the point A, he is observing to the top of that tower that is at the point C. Okay, means obviously that person should see upward, right? So that the observer should see upward, that he need to see in on the above level of his eye level, at the above of his high level, right? Eye levels, right? Eye level means what? This is the eye level here, just as he stands or some person stands, where is his eye, so that level, the horizontal line at the distance or at the height of his eye is nothing but the eye level. So here I can say the eye level of a person is this line. This dotted line is nothing but the eye level, or we can say the horizontal level or horizontal line. And this is a line of sight that he need to see here in this direction, right? So we can say this is the line of sight, and this one is a eye level or a horizontal line. This line is known as the horizontal line or a eye level. Okay, so that is the case here. So these are some terms that we can discuss here, right? So this is the eye level, this one is the eye level, and this one is a line of sight. So how that angle of elevation become? So the angle of elevation, this angle, whatever the angle of elevation or angle made by this horizontal line with the line of sight, that is called the angle of elevation. That person should see in upward direction to see that object. So that type of angle is called the angle of elevation, right? I hope everyone understood this. So angle of elevation will take place when we need to see above our eye level. That type of angle is called the angle of elevation, right? So if we see here, that tower is always obviously it is perpendicular to the ground level, right? So here we are having, if you see here, this in this diagram we are forming a right angle triangle here, because CB is a tower which is obviously perpendicular to the ground level, right? So this will be perpendicular to ground level. This will become the base of the triangle. This will become the height of the triangle. We can say this is the base, this is the height, right? And since this is perpendicular to the ground level, the tower is perpendicular to the ground level, so the side opposite to it, or the line of sight, will become the hypotenuse of this right angle triangle. So we are forming a right angle triangle ABC, in which AB is a base, BC is a height, and AC is a hypotenuse. And the angle of elevation will be this one. We denote the angle by theta, right? So that theta is known as the angle of elevation, right? So once if we have a right angle triangle, so obviously we can define the trigonometric ratios, right? So trigonometric ratios are defined in terms of the acute angle in a right angle triangle, in terms of the height and the base and the hypotenuse of a right angle triangle. So in this way we relate the height and distances with the trigonometric ratios that we have seen up to now. Understood? Yes. So this is about the angle of elevation. Now we'll see the angle of depression. What do you mean by the angle of depression? Let us see. The angle of depression will be like this. I will just show you how it will be. So obviously in case of angle of depression, we should see an object below the eye level or below the horizontal level of our eye, right? Here if you see a girl is there, he is at some high level of his house, or on the first floor of his house. So she is observing an object on the ground, right? So here she is to see, or she is to observe to in the we can say at the below. She should see, she should watch the object by we can say just looking at downward, we can say, right? So when a person is to look at the downward, the angle of elevation made by that line of sight with the horizontal level or with the eye level is called the angle of depression. Here is an observer. See, this is a eye level. This one is the eye level. We can see. I will just show you the eye level and the level, the line of sight. This is a eye level. This one is a line of sight, right? This one is eye level, this one is a line of sight. So angle made by this horizontal line with the line of sight is nothing but the angle of depression. If you denote it by theta, we can say that theta is the angle of depression. So this angle will take place when an observer should look at downward, right? So that type of angle observed or made by that horizontal level or an eye level. This horizontal level is also known as eye level, right? So the angle made by that eye level or horizontal level with the line of sight is known as the angle of depression. Understood? And if you see here, this horizontal level, this eye level, if you see the distance of this object from the ground, from that building, or we can say the house, so this line or this distance of this object from the house is that line we have will obviously parallel to this horizontal line, this eye level, right? So those will be parallel to each other. And as per the parallel lines, the properties of the parallel lines and transversal, if we see, this is the angle of depression and if it is denoted by theta, obviously we can say this one is also same as this one angle, right? Yes. So in this way we can find, so here using this angle of elevation and angle of depression, we are able to find this distance. So here obviously this building is perpendicular to the ground, so here we are observing an right angle triangle again. So since this one is a right angle triangle, again we can say this one is the height, this one is the distance of this object from this house or a building, and this will become a hypotenuse of that right angle triangle, right? So this is the line of sight. That line of sight will become the hypotenuse of that right angle triangle. So again, if we have a right angle triangle and an acute angle we have, then obviously we can define the trigonometric ratio. So we use the trigonometric ratio to find the distance of this house or a building from the object, or we can say vice versa, the distance of object from the house, or we can also find the height of the distance, sorry, height of that that girl, we can say, or we can find the height of the building, or we can also find the line of sight or the hypotenuse, that also we can find here, right? So with the help of this angle of elevation and angle of depression, we are able to find the height of that building, height of the tower, height of the tree, or we will able to find the distance of the object from the ground or the bottom of the tower, right? So these all things can be obtained with the help of trigonometric function, as the trigonometric functions are defined in terms of the sides of right angle triangle, right? So that we have already learnt in the previous topic of trigonometry. So the same thing we are going to use here to find the heights and distances of the objects in the given examples. So let us see some example related to the same, right? So let's see now. Let's try to solve some example related to this. Let's go. So let us see one example, student, here. The examples related to the applications of the trigonometric ratios, the trigonometric functions are like this. See the first example here. Wait for a minute. Yes, we have the example. The first example we can solve here in terms of the trigonometric ratio is like this. So it is a day-to-day life that will come across in our day-to-day life. Let's see the example 1 related to this trigonometry, right? Yes, the first sum will be like this. A circus artist is climbing a 20-meter long rope, right, which is tightly stretched and tied from the top of the vertical pole to the ground. So find the height of the pole if the angle made by the rope with the ground level is 30 degree. So student, we need to read the sum very carefully and try to understand what you are given. Try to understand how we can have a right angle triangle with the help of given information, and what is the angle given, whether it is angle of elevation or angle of depression, that we need to understand by reading the sum. So that reading and getting the meaning of that sentences given in the example is very important. So if you see here the first example given, like a circus artist is climbing a 20-meter long rope. So a 20-meter long rope is there, he need to climb it, and which is tightly stretched and tied from the top of the vertical of the pole. So there is a vertical pole, say here we have a vertical pole like this is the vertical pole. So a string or the what we say, a rope is tied to the top of the pole and it is tied at the ground level, right, at the ground also. So suppose this is tightly stretched and it is tied at the ground, right. This is a pole, this one is a pole, this one is a rope, right, and the circus man is going to, or artist is going to climb this rope from the ground, right. So obviously we can join this point where the rope is tied with this. Okay, so pole is obviously perpendicular to the ground, right. So are we observing or are we having the right angle triangle here? Yes, obviously we have a right angle triangle. So we name it as a right angle triangle, say ABC, right. So here is the rope tied at the ground. So what you are given again, you are given that the long length of the rope is given as 20 meter. This means this is a rope, so its length is given as 20 meter. Along with that, what you are given that the angle made by the rope with the ground level, angle made by the rope, this is a rope, and the angle made by this with the ground level, so this is BC is a ground level, so this angle you are given. So this angle is how much? It is 30 degree, right. So what type of angle we have here? Angle of elevation or angle of depression. Since that artist is climbing from the ground to the top, so the angle made by the rope with the ground level is obviously the angle of elevation, right. So using this given angle and the height, the length of the rope is given 20 meter, what do we need to find? What is the question? The question is to find the height of the pole. So means we need to find height of the pole H, right. So we need what we have here. So in terms of the sides of the right angle triangle, you are given an theta, which is an acute angle of the right angle triangle. You are given the hypotenuse of the right angle triangle. You need to find the height of the right angle triangle. Or in terms of this angle, you are given the hypotenuse and you need to find the opposite side. So to decide which ratio is to be used here, just what you are given and what we need to find, those two sides first we need to see. So here you are given hypotenuse and we need to find the opposite side of this angle 30 degree. So opposite side and the hypotenuse. So in terms of these two sides, which ratio is defined? So the ratio defined in terms of opposite side and hypotenuse is obviously a first ratio, that is sine theta, right? It's so simple. So just observe the sides given and side we need to find of that right angle triangle. So observing that only we can decide which ratio we need to use here. So since opposite side we need to find, we are given the hypotenuse of the right angle triangle, we use obviously the sine theta only, right? So let's use this. So here we just note what are these objects here, AB, AC and BC, what they are, just we need to note here. So we can write here, let AB be the pole, or we can say height of the pole. It is the height of the pole. Here AC is nothing but the length of the rope. It is a rope, length of the rope, or it is a rope only, but we, in terms of this right angle triangle, we can say it is the length of the rope. It is given as 20 meter, and the height of the AB, which is we denoted by H, we need to find here, right? So, and also you are given the angle of elevation, the angle C, which is we denoted by theta, is given as 30 degree. So to find the height of the pole, we know that what we know the trigonometric ratio in terms of opposite side and hypotenuse, that sine theta is equal to opposite side upon hypotenuse. Opposite side upon hypotenuse is nothing but sine theta, right? So you are given theta as 30 degree, so I can use it as sine of 30 degree, opposite side is height of the pole, hypotenuse is given the length of the rope as 20 meter. Okay, so now substitute the values. How much is the sine 30? We know it is equal to half, 1 by 2. H is unknown, 20 is given, so we can find H from this. So just take a cross multiplication, H into 2 will become 2H, and 20 into 1, which is equal to 20 only. So 2H equal to 20. So how much is H? H will be 20 upon 2. How much is 20 upon 2? Which is equal to 10. But what is H? H is the height of the rope. So we can write here the height of the rope is equal to, we can write the answer finally, that height of the rope is equal to 10 meters. So student, do you understood this example? It's very simple. What we need to know here to solve such example, we need to know only the trigonometric ratios, the definition of trigonometric ratio, which ratio is defined in terms of opposite side and hypotenuse, which ratio is defined in terms of adjacent side and hypotenuse, which is in terms of opposite by hypotenuse or opposite by adjacent. So all these three trigonometric ratio, basic trigonometric ratio, we must know. So once we know that, just compare that ratio, what is given and what we need to find. So that will give us the answer to the question which ratio we need to use, right? As in this example, you are given the hypotenuse and you need to find the height. So you can just remind which is the ratio which is defined in terms of opposite side and the hypotenuse. So answer quickly comes that it is a sine theta. So that ratio we can use. Just use the definition, just substitute the value, you will get the required answer, right? Hope everyone understood this. We will try to solve few more examples. The next example we will try is this one. Let us note this sum number 2. The second example on this, a very popular example that will regularly ask in the exam. It is like this. I will just read the sum. The sum is: a tree breaks due to a storm and the broken part bends so that the top of the tree touches the ground, making an angle of 30 degrees with it. The distance between the foot of the tree to the point where the top touches the ground is 8 meters. The question is, find the height of the tree, right? We need to find the height of the tree. So just try to draw the rough diagram or a diagram which describes the given situation in the example. So consider a tree is obviously perpendicular to the ground. This one is a tree, right? So AB is a tree, right? So due to a storm, suppose it breaks at this point, we denote this point as P, right? So it breaks at the point P. So due to the breakdown, that obviously the remaining part of the tree will broke and it will come on the ground. It will like this, right? It bends and come down to the ground level. So this point B, this is the top of the tree, it touches the ground at this point. Say it is the point C, right? After bending this, after breaking this tree, and it bends at the point P, and the top of the tree touches at the point C to the ground, right? So now if we join AC, so are we having a right angle triangle here? And which one is a right angle triangle? So we can say the triangle APB is a right angle triangle. Obviously trees or anything is always perpendicular to the ground level, so we can say APC is a right angle triangle. So along with this, what you are given, just see what you are given in the example. You are given a few things. What are given, we can just read the sum. The tree breaks due to storm, and the broken part touches where it touches, broken part bends so that the top of the tree touches the ground, making an angle of 30 degree with it. So that bending part of the tree makes an angle of 30 degree to the ground level. So this angle will become 30 degree obviously. And the distance between the foot of the tree, this is the foot of the tree, A is the foot of the tree, distance between the foot of the tree and to the point where the top touches to the ground, is 8 meter. Means this is the point where this top of the tree touches the ground, means you are given the distance AC. How much it is given? It is given 8 meter. This is given 8 meter. So the question is find the height of the tree, means we need to find the distance AB. What we need to find? We need to find the height of the tree, that is AB, right? AB is a tree we have considered, so we can find the height of the tree, that is AB, right? So let's complete this sum. Let's try to solve this sum. So just note what you are given here. Let we consider AB is the height of the tree, right? Since AB is the height of the tree, we consider the height of the tree as x. Let it be x. Yes, we denote it by x meter, suppose, right? It is x meter. So since AB is x, how much is AP? AP we need to find. We don't given the AP. We are not given AP. Okay, fine. So we consider AP as x, right? We consider AP as x, and AB we keep AB as it is. AB, yes, we keep AB as it is. We'll just see how it can be obtained, right? Height of the tree. Let AP, it is the distance of the bottom of the tree, and the point where it cuts or where it bends is the AP, which is equal to x meter. We denote it by x meter. Let AP be x meters. Okay. So, and how much is this? PC. What is PC? If we denote this PB by as y, so can we say this as y? Yes, we can say it as y, because both will be the part of the broken part of the tree, means they must be of same distance, same height. Okay, so that y we need to find. So first we will try to find y, and then try to find x. First we need to try to find x with the help of trigonometric function, and then we'll try to find the length y. So let us write. So again student, what we are known the adjacent side of the angle 30, and we need to find this opposite side. So what is the ratio that will be defined in terms of opposite side and adjacent side? Yes, we need to find, or we can use here a tan theta. So tan theta is defined as opposite side by adjacent side. Yes, so we can write, so here also we can write the theta given is 30 degree. So since we need to find the opposite side and adjacent side is given, we use tan theta. So we have this, we know tan theta equal to, how much is tan theta equal to, what is the definition of tan theta? It is opposite side by adjacent side. So what is opposite side here? Opposite side is AP, which is equal to x, and adjacent side is known as 8 meter. But you are given theta as 30 degree, so I can define tan of 30 degree is equal to x upon 8, right? How much is tan 30 students? Tan 30 is equal to 1 by root 3, which is equal to x by 8. So how much is x from this? It will be, just to take the cross multiplication, it gives us root 3x equal to 8, or x equal to 8 upon root 3. And in the case when we have the length or any ratio in which the denominator is a radical sign or irrational number, you can simplify. If you want to simplify, you can simplify by multiplying and dividing by the same irrational number to the given number, or whatever we have here, or we can keep it as it is. Let's keep it as it is here. Okay, I will keep this one as it is. So now what we need to find? I need to find y. So finding y is nothing but finding the hypotenuse of the triangle, is it? So can you find the hypotenuse of the triangle by using the trigonometric ratio? So which is the ratio in terms of the adjacent side and hypotenuse? It is cos theta, or we can, as we know the value of x, opposite side is also known, so we can use any trigonometric ratio. So I will use cos theta here, because whatever the value given, so using that value we can find it. Okay, also we can write here to find y. To find y we use cos theta. What is cos theta? Cos theta is adjacent by hypotenuse. So what is theta again? Again theta we can take the same as 30 degree. Adjacent side is 8 meter, and this is y. How much is cos 30? Can anybody know? Cos 30 is, we know sin 30, we know cos 30. Sin 30 is half and cos 30 is root 3 by 2. Yes, it is root 3 by 2 is equal to 8 upon y. So I will keep this 8 upon y as it is. Now I need to take cross multiplication. So this gives us root 3y equal to 8 into 2, or root 3y is equal to 8 to the 16, or y equal to 16 upon root 3, right? So y is equal to 16 upon root 3. If you, now we need to find the height of the tree. What is the height of the tree? Here I can write this y is nothing but the height of the broken part of the tree, right? This is the broken part of the tree. I denote it as y equal to 16 by root 3 meters. Now I find the total height of the tree. What is the total height of the tree? The total, or we can write just height of the tree. Height of the tree is equal to x plus y. If you see the diagram, if you see the figure we have drawn, x is the part that is not broken and y is the broken part of the tree. So height of the tree becomes the sum of the part x and y, right? So we can write it as x plus y. We just put the value, we obtain x is equal to here 8 upon root 3 meter, and we also have y which is equal to 16 by root 3 meters, right? We just put them together, we add them. So 8 by root 3 plus 16 by root 3. So since denominators are same, we keep the denominator as it is and add the numerators. How much is 16 plus 8? It is 24. So 24 by root 3 meters. If you want to write or if you want to simplify it, just as I told you, we can rationalize this. Means we need to multiply divided by that root term, root number. You can say the radical number. So it is multiply and divided by root 3 here. So what will happen? This will become 24 root 3 in numerator, and denominator is root 3 into root 3, which is root 3 square. So square and root will be cancelled. We left with 3 only. So now we can simplify this 3 with 24, which is 3 exact 24. So which gives us the height of the tree. We can write the height of the tree is equal to 8 root 3 meters. Understood everyone, students? It's very easy. Just we need to just be alert while solving the example. Just observe the sum given, observe what is given, what we need to find, and try to apply the trigonometric ratios. Just observing the situation, you can decide what to do in this example, right? So this example can be solved here. So today we'll stop here only. I hope both of these sums you understood. You can practice this example and again, and so that you can have the practice and you are able to solve this example in the exam, right? So these two examples are one of the important examples from the applications of the trigonometric functions or trigonometry only, right? So student, hope everyone understood this. Practice them again and again. We'll solve more example in the next video. So till then, just practice all these examples. So similar examples will also be there in the exercise. In the other, if we have any other resources, you can just see the examples depending on the scheme, and you can practice them, right? So we'll stop here only. So we'll continue the more examples in the next video. Till then, thank you, bye bye, see you in the next video.